We're excited to bring in Alex Resnik. He's the president over at the Flagstar Strand Theatre in Pontiac, the beautiful, beautiful historic theater. Great to have you with us. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you all doing?
A tough year for you and your staff, and that's probably an understatement, right?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, 2020 is not something that we saw coming at all. I actually started this job 4 days before the state shut down with COVID.
And so, oh my gosh, bless your heart.
Yeah, so talk about getting thrown into the fire, but we're here. We celebrated our 100-year anniversary in March, and so we were able to do that in partnership with the Oakland County Historical Society. And now we're getting shows back going. We're excited.
But with that, Alex, if I can ask you, because you were new to the job, do you think it almost also kind of helped you because you came in with a different viewpoint? You didn't have that, this is the way we've always done it mentality of how to run the theater.
Yeah, and we were lucky that we had a really small staff anyways. So we were able to be pretty nimble. And yeah, we just started looking for funds kind of anywhere we could. We started talking to folks that needed like very, very small rentals for Zoom meetings or for anything like that. And then we actually went to a couple churches that were getting started, and we were able to find some funds that way for rentals, things like that, to keep us afloat for a while.
So we're so excited to hear that you have survived. I'm sure you don't want to, repeat this past year, but looking forward to the summer. And the good thing is we all are feeling a bit more hopeful this summer, especially with that July 1st, date right around the corner. Tell us about what is happening there at the theater with these dates and the restrictions loosening here in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, so for the longest time, we were at the 300-person limit, and it didn't make sense for us to do any shows. It would cost us more to get an artist in than we wouldn't be able to make any money on it. So now we're at 50% capacity, which is 440, and so that makes a lot more sense now. We actually do have a show coming up on Saturday that we're really excited about. It's my first show that we sold tickets for, so I'm just jumping there's a lot to do still, but I just can't wait till Saturday because there's going to be people paying to get in the theater, and I'm excited.
So tell us about the show.
Yeah, so it's a Pontiac artist. His name is One Below. He's a hip hop artist. He's been around for years, and he's doing kind of like an artist's retrospective on the history of hip hop in Pontiac. And it's going to be very, very cool. It's going to be a 4-hour show, which is really long, but there's going to be a ton of different guest artists, a ton of Pontiac talent that's going to be on the stage, and a lot of people will be on the stage of the Strand for the first time. So we're really excited about it.
But Alex, looking at that, and as your first big show, more than a year into your job, to have it be so local, really, it must be special to you.
Oh, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. And when we were closed with COVID, I was just looking to help as many people as I could because we had a space that people could use. And so I really dove into the local community and said, hey, what do you all need from the building? How can we partner together? And we took that and we did a couple of different small business expos in the building to help support small businesses. And from that came the relationship with One Below, and he's like, we need to do a concert here. And so we were able to make it work. And yeah, it's been a really, really interesting ride because I definitely didn't think I was going to be almost a year and a half into to the job and be selling my first ticketed show. But we are where we are, so we're going to make it work.
We're talking with Alex Resnik. He's the president over at the Flagstar Strand Theatre there in Pontiac. And with that, we're going forward because, as you mentioned, some of your funding really relies on rentals. So are you hopeful now that this next year you can put COVID behind and really start to focus on, letting people explore the theater and its beauty?
Yeah, and there's going to be a slow ramp up to what people are going to be comfortable with indoors. And so we're advertising now for different corporate events for people to be doing employee appreciation or give back things here at the theater. We're also working with a couple of nonprofits to do some fundraisers, because the theater industry wasn't obviously the only industry hit hard by COVID, and nonprofits were hit really hard. And so we're trying to give folks a really cool opportunity to show their donors that they're still around, to get donations in, and to have a really cool experience here at the theater, and also support nonprofits. Yeah.
So with that, Alex, as well, what's it been like for you and your staff to try to keep the theater up and running throughout this time? Because we do know that they were offering some types of grants, but not a lot,
right.
Not enough to cover the loss that you've had over the past year.
Right. Yeah. So we did, when COVID hit, we had 3 on staff, and we had to furlough everybody. And we were able to get some PPP stuff that came through. The state of Michigan came through with a Save Our Stages grant that the Michigan venues asked for $10 million. We got $1.5 million, which is not what we asked for, but it's better than nothing.
Right.
And then we also got a grant from Oakland County to our nonprofit side that helped keep us afloat. And then the National Independent Venue Association put together what's called the SVOG, the Shuttered Venues and Operators Grant. And that is billions of dollars that are going to shuttered venues all across the country. But the release of it has been a lot slower than we had hoped. So we're still waiting for that money, which is kind of frustrating, because right now, like I said, it's hard for us to pay for an artist to come in. We don't have that capital. So our ramp up to getting shows is delayed because we don't have that capital to get back moving. We're having trouble getting product in for food and drinks and things like that. And that grant is supposed to be for that, to get us back open. And the release of it has been a lot slower than we hoped. But that's the bad thing that's going on. But there's been a lot of other work that Rosemary Bayer, our state senator, really helped us out with, and getting that Save Our Stages thing done in the state of Michigan, which was huge. It really did help us out.
So with that, Alex, tell us a little bit about the collaboration that maybe wouldn't have happened had we not been in the middle of the pandemic, and some of the relationships that you and your team have been able to build throughout the past year.
Oh yeah, so we, like I said, we did the two expos. We did one for Black History Month and one for Women's History Month. It was all Black-owned businesses that came into our theater and were able to sell product. We had, I think, 3 food vendors in the building, and they all sold out of their food. So they were able to do that. We did a Marquee Concert where we actually shut down Saginaw Street right out in front of our building, and put 4 bands on top of our marquee, and had an outdoor concert. And so we were able to partner with Fillmore 13, Experimentation, Little Moe's, the Green Room Cafe, and Liberty Bar, to have their vendors down, to have food down here for all of the different folks. There's like 300 and some odd people that came through that day. But those partnerships, it's hard to forge those when you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off and not knowing what's next. But when you have some time to really think and say, okay, well, who can we work with to help get through this? That was huge for us.
Alex Resnik with us here on the MegaCast. He's the president for the Flagstar Strand Theatre. Alex, I will say, like, for me, because I'm in Kego, and we've seen Pontiac kind of start this evolution, especially that downtown area, and then it kind of stalled for a while. There was so much hope. Pulte went in there, was tearing down some of the blighted homes. You had Slows building new restaurants, and then it stalled, and then COVID hit. But do you anticipate that we're going to start to see Pontiac emerge from this pandemic better than before? Because we do see companies such as Amazon going in. We have United Wholesale Mortgage and the M1 Concourse. So your next 100 years looking a little bit brighter than the past?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it really is. And I think you hit the nail on the head with the M1 Concourse. I think that's really been one of the bigger bright spots in Pontiac over the last 5 years, because the things that they're doing there is unlike anything in the country. And, with COVID, the auto show was canceled, and now they're moving it to Pontiac. It's the first time it's been outside of Detroit in I don't know how many years. And so we're partnering with a bunch of different entities downtown to really put on a show for everybody who's going to be at the auto show at M1 Concourse. United Wholesale Mortgage is a huge company that has all the opportunity in the world to help Pontiac come back, and Pontiac neighborhoods and downtown Pontiac come back too. And then you talk about the social district that just got released for downtown Pontiac called the Circuit. So now people can take their drinks from restaurant to restaurant, from patio to patio, uninhibited, which is really, really cool, which is huge for us as an entertainment venue, which is huge for the Crowfoot as an entertainment venue, which is good for all the restaurants. They can have more seating outside and people can come and eat and feel safe. And then you have just all the different small partnerships around downtown that everyone's working together to really figure it out together and to, like you said, to make the next 100 years brighter than the last. That's for sure.
So, Alex, I'm just thinking about you over the past year. Here you thought you were going in to run a theater. Instead, you become a grant expert, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But the good thing is those skills learned, you can carry on as well. But looking forward to the future, any other big acts that you're trying to book, but also just maybe some smaller theater acts as well?
Yeah, so like you said earlier, a large part of our business is rentals. And so with COVID happening, a lot of smaller independent venues have shut down. And so we've been taking in some smaller theater type things with a couple musicals like that are going to be in here that aren't quite released yet. One of the things that I've been working on is to create partnerships with promoters and to really bring in high quality shows that the neighborhoods want and then the greater Oakland County community wants as well. So I don't have any names I can drop right now to be able to give, but there's some really cool things coming down the line that I'm really, really excited about.
Well, and with that too, this is the opportunity, anyone out there listening, to try to join with you in the partnership, because I will say one thing that's happened over the past year, everyone is thinking outside the box. And those relationships have really resulted in some very unique and interesting collaboration projects.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we had to think outside of our building over the summer, and that's why we did the Marquee Concert. And that's something that we're bringing this summer too. We've got one in August, again, possibly 2 shows in August for that. So it's been a lot of fun.
So with that too, if people want to find out more information and continue to follow along, but also to help support your theater, because as you said, you celebrated 100 years in the middle of a pandemic, and I feel like you missed kind of your big splash. Yeah,
and it was kind of a bummer, but it was a cool partnership we were able to make with the Oakland County Historical Society, which was really, really cool. But yeah, we're going to celebrate our birthday in December. For that, we're going to have a big show. I can't release who's going to be the act for that yet, but it's going to be really, really cool. And yeah, I mean, it's just been something that the Strand has been here for 100 years, and the last thing I wanted to do was on my first year close it. So I didn't want that to be my legacy, my family's legacy, but it's gonna be here for a long time. That's for sure.
That would have been a tough act. I give you that, Alex. Alex Resnik with us here on the MegaCast. He's the president over at the Flagstar Strand Theatre in downtown Pontiac. Alex, thank you again for taking time to be with us. Anything maybe I didn't touch on that you want to share before we say goodbye?
So you can check us out on our website. It's flagstarstrand.com. You can check out our list of shows there, get on our email list. We also have a Facebook page, Twitter account, Instagram page. It's all Flagstar Strand Theater. And yeah, I hope to see you all here at the theater very, very soon.
And with that too, Alex, because you're younger, how important has social media been throughout this pandemic to try to keep the word out there about the theater?
Yeah, it's really hard to create content when you're a live event space and there's no live events going on.
Right.
So we actually did like a riddle of the month, riddle of the week, where we would put a riddle on our marquee and then post a picture to Facebook. And then if you could solve the riddle, then you won 2 tickets. And we're actually going to start that up again here in the next couple of weeks. So be on the lookout on our Facebook page to earn a couple of free tickets here every now and then.
That's awesome. And I will say, as someone that is right here in the neighborhood, it's great to see the theater survive, but I love the collaboration that you're doing with some of the other businesses. And I love the social district. This is the first time I'm hearing about that. I'm in Pontiac Friday night for an event. So great to hear that that's happening. And best of luck in the future. And let's hope those funds come through and we start to see some great live performances again. Alex, thank you again for being with us.
Yeah, thanks. Are you coming to the Art Jam then on Friday? The Pontiac Art Jam?
Well, it's a part of that. I have a friend that has a consignment store there. She's a little bit further down. But there are some great things going on in Pontiac. And what I love to see for us, because everyone goes to Detroit for these restaurants and this, that, and the other. It's like, no, Pontiac is right here. We really need to start supporting the Pontiac businesses here in Oakland County. It's so much closer than traveling all the way down to Detroit. And the Uber's like, I think $8.90 versus like
it's very
$80.
Cheap. Yeah, it's very cheap.
Well, Alex, thank you.
Thanks for your support. I really appreciate it.
Well, we are lucky that you're still there and running the show as well. And we wish you the best of luck. Let's hope your second year is much easier than your first.
Me too. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.